Lights up bright, dope, Campbell Stadium is alive. Seminoles rise and fight to survive. Helmet gleam under that blazing sun. Florida State where champions run. Seminole sideline 365. Feel the roar, we're coming alive. Garnet and gold in the battle we thrive. This is our house where legends arrive. Turf torn up under Seminole feet. The war chant pounds to the heart's own beat. Chop through the noise like a storm in the sky. 2025, we reach for the high. Seminole sideline 365.
Welcome back to Seminole Sideline 365. My name is KB. With me, as always, is the old man. Thank you for joining us. The Florida State Clemson game is about to wrap up. 1 minute left, but the game is essentially over. So thank you for joining us in the post-game show here. Join us early. We are, how bad are we lose, Gary? 24-10. We'll go into it. We'll describe how bad it was. In my opinion, it could have gone our way. It easily could have gone our way tonight. But thank you for joining us, Jalen, the GOAT. We appreciate you guys being here. Gary, thanks for joining us early. And everyone who's going to join here tonight, Florida State fans, Clemson fans, come on in. We'll get you in, we'll get you out so you guys can be on your way tonight. Enjoy some late night football wherever that may be on the West Coast. But yeah, Florida State goes down again. It looks like it'll be 24-10 unless Clemson does something. Well, if Dabo does Dabo things and maybe does a Hail Mary here, but I think Klubnik's off the field. So it should end 24-10 unless something crazy happens here. And honestly, people are going to say, you know, Mike Norvell this, Mike Norvell that. But this is on the players. I mean, this is a game where, once again, in the games that Florida State's lost this season, they didn't play complimentary football. And this is a game that I believe the defense played well enough for Florida State to win. The score may not reflect that. You may say 24 points is a lot. But in modern college football, you can, you know, if there was complimentary football on the offensive side, obviously 10 points is not good enough for Florida State. And many times when we've lost, it's the offense hasn't kind of resonated off the defense, or the defense hasn't resonated off the offense. And tonight, the offense didn't show up. The offense was totally not there for this team, which is surprising to say. I think this will be probably their lowest offensive total of the season, 313-ish yards. It may go a little bit higher depending on what happens to the final couple of plays here. But the offense didn't show up at all tonight, which I didn't expect. I think the Clemson defense didn't come in tonight as super vaunted. We talked about a couple of guys on the defensive line coming in, with some high talent there, NFL guys. But it was really the secondary that really shut down some guys for Florida State. Obviously, the line got some pressure, but I was super disappointed in our offensive play and just overall execution. I think Florida State drawed up offensively the right plays at the right times, and kids just didn't execute. That could be Tommy, that could be Pittman, that could be a number of guys on this team who just didn't execute at the right time, and that cost us points on the board tonight. That's not on Mike Norvell. And even Tommy Castellano said this earlier in this week. It's on the players. And tonight, it was 100% in my mind, or at least 90% on the players. Tommy missed a lot of throws tonight. And you know that's what you get with him. He's not a pure passer. He's not an elite passer. He's not even probably a good plus passer. He's a fair passer. And he missed a lot of big throws tonight. One, Squirrel was wide open down the field, missed him by 7, maybe 10 yards. He missed a lot of throws in the flats. He missed, I would say he missed 7 to 10 throws tonight easily with bad placement. He fumbled the ball in the red zone. This was probably his worst game, in my opinion, of his FSU career. And I believe he'll probably say that in his presser. A lot of this game tonight is on him. In the second half, though, I think there were some questionable play calls by Gus Malzahn as well, especially on that last meaningful drive of the night when we were backed up by the penalty. But, old man, I'll let you say some things, but I think really tonight came down to execution, because this game was very winnable. This game should have been competitive. We should have had 14-plus points in the first half easily, and it came down to execution especially. But what are your thoughts, initial thoughts?
I'm kind of like devoid of energy. I'm kind of like, I thought we had a opportunity to potentially win this game. I can't disagree with anything that you said. I mean, it was definitely a lot of uh, lack of execution by players.
A lot.
Okay, and this is the part of the game, and I've got it. I'm watching it
Yeah,
too. And I hate because Dabo goes into his Dabo shit.
He's terrible.
But
I hate
you
him.
know, I'm not.
Dislike him.
I told you earlier in the week that he's not going to go down easy. You know, and he's won a couple of national championships. He's won several ACCs. He's a good coach. He's probably a better coach than Mike Norvell. But I don't think this was about coaching tonight, like you said.
No.
I think it's about the execution of what went on. Okay. Of plays. You know, I've got some notes, but in the first half, we had the ball 6 times in the first half, and we got 7 points. We had one touchdown on our sixth possession. But we had passes dropped. We had a turnover, you know, by Pittman. I mean, it just was.
It's terrible.
It just, I don't know what to say, to be honest. And
it was hard to
think
watch.
I'm saying, yeah, I just kind of watched it unfold. We were in the game at halftime still. We were in the game.
Because the defense.
Yeah, we were in the game because I think the defense played well enough to win.
Yeah.
But
I thought the defense, yeah.
As you said before, you know, it was a game of lack of complementary football. One side's doing well, the other side, you know, the defense isn't doing well, or the defense is doing well, and then the offense can't score any points against what we thought was a porous defense on Clemson, who had given up 30. How many points did they
45 points to Duke last week.
To Duke, who lost to Connecticut today.
Yeah.
Who lost to UConn today.
Yeah.
Out of conference game. It's crazy. It's crazy. Deuce Robinson looks like he had a pretty good game. Blake Nicholson is not a power 4 or a power 2, whatever the hell you want to call it. He's just not he's an average linebacker. He got plowed over 2 or 3 times. I watched him. You know, he's not
big. He's not fast. He's like a tweener.
He's an average linebacker.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that I go back to what I say before, KB, and you may not want to hear it. I think it is players' abilities. I think a lot of these guys have reached their ceiling.
But the defense played fine tonight.
A combination of both. I will say this: a combination of coaching, a combination of talent evaluation, and their execution. But let me just say this.
Not tonight.
No, wait a minute. Let me say this. You can have average players at this level, and they're going to drop balls. They're not going to make certain plays. You got a quarterback, Tommy Castellanos, who does play his ass off. I didn't see any quit in the team. I think they've just tapped out their ceilings. Everybody has a ceiling in any business.
The Randy Pittman drop ball is not about ceiling. He was wide open and bobbled the foot. That is a high school play. That's a high school play.
Well,
that's not talent. That's focus.
No, I think Randy.
This is a guy that has 75 plus catches in his career. That's not
average
talent.
Players make plays and they don't make plays. That's average players. Randy Pittman is not going to play in the NFL. And you know what? These announcers are so bad on that. I had a hard time listening to these guys. They were just horrible. That's another thing that drives you crazy. Some of the refereeing, you know,
the refereeing was not good tonight.
No,
it was not good tonight.
Good.
It didn't cost us, but it was not good. The missed face mask, that
terrible.
Grounding call was the guy's in the flat. What is the definition of grounding? The guy's within 2 yards of him.
Yeah,
the refereeing was terrible tonight. I have to say that.
And then when the two guys were fighting, who was it? McCoy. McCoy got 2 penalties in the same drive, and they were both throwing punches.
Yeah, that was stupid.
I hate this shit. I hate this shit. I'm getting a little excited. I'm going to calm down. I hate this shit. What they always say. Well, the last guy throwing the punch, the last guy gets the penalty. What kind of bullshit is that? You mean to tell me these refs only see the last punch? That's bullshit. And one time when our guy was on the Clemson sideline, the ref came over to get him out of there. A couple other Clemson guys still came in his face. They didn't do shit. I would have thrown a flag. I would have thrown a flag.
Clemson had 2 penalties tonight for what it's worth. Only 2 penalties.
Bullshit. But the referees did not impact the final result of this game. Let's make.
They made it harder. They made it harder.
Yeah, it just and then in the second half, first half we had no penalties. Second half we had like 4 penalties for at least 50 yards, and they were big ones.
5 for 50 in the second half. 5 for 50.
The one penalty wiped out Singleton's run of about 15 yards, which would have been a first down, and then put us back into like 3rd and 16, and we didn't get it.
Well, think about it. You talked about it. In the first half, we had the fumble in the red zone on the 3 by Tommy, and then in the second half, you were in the red zone and had the penalty, which took you out of the red zone, and you should. It was a McCoy's the hold. You were on the 3 or 4, and it got brought back, and you got the Nether penalty, and it was 2nd and 18, 2nd and 30 essentially, and you got a field goal. You've said no, I don't think you even scored on that one. You didn't even get the field goal there. I don't sure, but that's 14 points there essentially. That's the difference. Is just looking at those 2 things. Those are 2 execution things where that's the 14-point difference right now we're talking about. Just those 2 plays.
Yeah, I don't think Clemson is any powerhouse at all. They're not a good football team. We're definitely not a good football team. And if you look at the final stats, 24-10, you lose by a couple of touchdowns.
We had more yards than them. We had more yards than them.
Yeah, we had 360 total yards, and they had 319. Rushing, we had, you got to take out the sacks. We had 110 yards to their 98. I mean, we had 50 yards in penalties all in the second half. That kills you in the second half when you're trying to make up ground. And that hurt. Time of possession, they had the ball almost 8-9 minutes more. Sometimes in the first half, it seemed like they had the ball forever.
They were double us. They were 20-10 in the first half.
You're exactly right. The third quarter, when we came out and got the ball again at kickoff, we only had the ball twice in the third quarter. And neither time did we get any points. We missed the field goal, 40 yards by Weinberg. We missed that. And we only had it a couple of times. It was also a game of possession. I think they wanted to do that, take the ball away from Tommy, which they did. And Tommy was running for his life a lot. I don't think our line held up well against the blitzes. You know, they blitzed a lot. And I don't know. It took the energy out of me, you know. I wasn't impressed with the Clemson team. I wasn't impressed with them, but I was I had less impression with our team. Now that, you know, we're just talking about the team tonight. We're not going to talk about Norvell or his future. Okay. But I will say this, he's not going to return to this team in 2026. I've been saying it for weeks, and I'm just going to say it. This is the final nails, I think, have already been sewed. This run here, again, is just a lackluster effort by this team. I don't think they quit. I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
I don't think that. No,
I think they are playing with the coaching they're getting and their own abilities. I think this is their ceiling. That's my opinion. This is their ceiling. They're just not. We don't do punts very well in catching punts. We let balls bounce around. Squirrel White has been a disappointment. You know, it's just not there, man. It's just not there.
But just like I said, whether or not it's talent, whatever, a lot of it is guys at a lower level can execute better. I mean, we lost in two phases tonight. We lost in special teams. We lost on the offensive side. I mean, that kick by Weinberg was atrocious. That first field goal was atrocious. Once again, that should have been an easy 3 points. He shanked the shit out of that thing, and that was terrible. That makes it, for most of this game, that could have kept it a 2-point score game, but he shanks the hell out of it, and that's not acceptable. That should be a chip shot for him, and that was terrible. First quarter, I believe it was first drive. Tommy holds it too long in the belly and fumble. I mean, they've probably run that on the second drive.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
drive.
When Singleton and him got it mixed up. Yeah.
But that defense sets you up perfectly.
Yep.
Good field position. It was a shank punt.
That was
sets you up perfectly.
Yep.
2-minute drive. You're about to score.
Yeah. Yeah. That was
Tommy
big.
turns. That's execution. That's not talent. That is pure
was
execution.
Yeah,
that is pure execution. That's not acceptable.
No,
that is on the players. That has nothing to do with talent.
That is not acceptable. I disagree there.
Running the option correctly has to do with talent.
Understand what I'm trying to say? Execution has everything to do with talent. If you have average players, they're going to make more mistakes than elite players do. Well, that's my opinion.
Yeah,
I think we have a team of generally overall of average college players who are never going to see the daylight of the NFL. Which tells you
the compensation say Clemson has more stars than most of the ACC does, but they're 3-5. Why is that then?
No, I'm not.
Yeah. That's what the stats would say.
I don't want to argue that. I'm just saying.
But your theory doesn't make sense. Let's just talk about Florida State tonight.
What are you saying? All of our players are elite players?
No, I'm just saying they're not executing to their level that they should be. And I don't know. Like, I agree with you. I think there needs to be a roster reset and there needs to be a coaching reset. It needs to be both. But I don't think this is on Mike Norvell. I don't think his play calling tonight is the reason they lost. I don't think his play calling tonight was the reason they lost. I don't think the scheme tonight was the reason they lost.
I agree with you there.
It's on a guy not pulling the ball soon enough. It's on guys not. Pittman can't put his hands together and catch a ball that a high school kid could. Like, that's not on the head coach. Like, that is not.
It is if the player acquisition talent thing is not good. And we talked about that earlier this week. KB, we talked about that.
So who's he have to get fucking Brock Bowers to be able to catch a ball down the sideline when he's wide open? I don't understand that.
How come we don't? Why don't we use Landon Thomas more? He caught one ball
because he doesn't block. He doesn't block.
I'm just, and we'll have these debates again. It's been said, and by others, not just us. Talent acquisition has been an issue.
I agree.
For Norvell. Would you agree with that?
Yes, so I agree with that.
When we talk about talent acquisition, we're saying he's bringing in average to maybe a little above average players. And then if you don't have really good coaches, which has been a problem too, to truly develop, which we've seen the numbers on this week, you and I shared that's talent. Those people are going to make mistakes. They're going to make mistakes. That's at any level of any ball. I don't care from youth all the way up, even into the NFL. They're not stocked with all elite players. But what I'm saying is I do believe it's a mixture of both. But whatever the hell it is, it's not freaking working, okay? But tonight, I do agree with you. There were a lot of poor execution plays, poorly executed plays, okay? And that doomed the Noles, including the big penalties of the second half, which didn't allow them to get back in this game. They only lost by 2 touchdowns, but you're losing to a team that defensively hasn't really shown up a lot this year. And that's sad. That's too bad. But the good thing is, I don't think they quit. They didn't quit.
I don't give a shit at this point.
And they have an opportunity next week. Well, you have to care. You have to care that the team doesn't quit. That goes back.
They're paid not to. They're paid not to quit.
I understand that.
I don't. This thing about not quitting anymore. I don't want that narrative. If they, God. Great. They didn't quit. Great. I'm so proud that they didn't quit.
They're just not good enough to win this game. They're just not good enough to win this game.
I don't believe that. I don't believe in the not good enough. But
well, if you don't execute, you're not good enough to win the game. It's that freaking simple. Okay? If you don't execute and you don't make the plays you need to make, you lose the game. That's any game, any sport. period. I mean, I don't know how else. I know we're both kind of emotional and upset because we care. We care. I don't know what else to say. When I see, and they showed it a couple times in a play where Blake Nicholson is flat on his back with a big tackle. I don't give a shit if he weighs 300 pounds, okay, cuts him down. Maybe Blake Nicholson should have cut him down and cut his legs out to blow up the play. I learned that shit when I was 8 years old.
But he was a top 200 player. He's supposed to be a talented player. Why isn't he making plays?
Who are you talking
Blake
about?
Nicholson. Yeah, he was a top 200
player.
Because
he's not big enough. He's an average linebacker.
He's your talented guy.
Got. That's all they got. So, but maybe instead of getting flattened by a guy weighing 320, you take his legs out and you blow up the play to let other guys pursuing. These are basic things, okay? But let's not pick on just Blake Nicholson. What about the throw, the pumpkin throw Klubnik threw up into the end zone? Joseph's is standing right there, and the guy goes up and reaches up high and grabs the touchdown over Joseph. It's like it was just a Hail Mary almost. We had three guys standing around there, especially Joseph, and he did nothing. I mean, that's execution. That's an execution play for whatever reason. He's not an elite cornerback. He's not. That's the way it is. And that's why Norvell and company and who is it, Ray, our general manager, they're not putting guys into the NFL. Because even elite talent will show up on some bad teams by position. Okay? And the announcers, this guy, he's a Klubnik's got an elite NFL arm. I'm going, what the hell is he talking about? And then he talks about.
Klubnik is a very good quarterback. Klubnik's a very good quarterback.
No,
he made some very good throws.
Inconsistent. He didn't have a great look. How many drives they had where they didn't score points. Okay, they had a lot of possessions they didn't score points on. I don't think he's a very good quarterback.
I think he's a very good quarterback.
I don't think he is at all. I don't think he is at all. I think he'll be an
he threw 3,600 quarterback yards last year and 36 touchdowns.
He didn't have a great night tonight. Look at the stat sheet. How many possessions they had when they didn't score?
I see them with 24 points in the W. That's what I see. And he was efficient. No turnovers, and he was efficient. He ran when he had to run.
Well, I just say I don't think he's a great quarterback.
Who's a great quarterback then?
I don't think he's a great quarterback.
Who was a great quarterback?
I was surprised. You know what? I was surprised they didn't use their running backs out of the backfield a little bit more. I think they would have exploited the shit out of us with that. I don't understand why they didn't do that. I didn't see hardly any. Did you? Their running backs catching balls?
They didn't really need to.
I'm just shocked they didn't try that.
I mean,
it's I don't know. Everybody's frustrated. And they're frustrated about the where are we going? What's going to happen? Coaches are now the being pursued. What are we going to get left with? But there's no way Mike Norvell comes back to coach this football team. A lot of these guys we may want to keep. The Desir twins, they started out pretty good in the first half. Those guys look good, both of them. There's going to be certain guys we're going to have to hold on to. That's another show. But there's going to be guys that are going into, how many yards did Singleton have tonight?
Not a lot. He had like 28 yards.
Okay.
We didn't run the ball well. Which is why we had to. Castellanos had these pass, which is not his forte.
This rotation of all these backs too.
It's not about the rotation. The rotation's not the issue. It's the offensive line didn't establish the run. You could have given Chroma 100 runs tonight. He's not going to get more than 4 yards per carry.
Out of that 5-man offensive line, as they always say, this line has 275 starts. Christ, who is it? Pettis has 7 years in the league here. We call it the league now here. He's got 7 years. That whole line has to be rebuilt. That's going to be portal. You're going to have to get a new quarterback. You know.
Okay. Well, we're not talking about how to
blah.
rebuild the roster this season.
Okay.
We're talking about this game. We're talking about this game.
Yeah. Deuce had a good game. Let's talk about who had a good game. Deuce had a good game, right? Over 100 yards, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, the 129 yards. 124 yards.
But they know he's their go-to guy. Danzy had a couple of catches. He had a drop. I think
He was pretty much dropped. He was pretty much invisible tonight.
Yeah. And Pittman had a drop.
Yeah, he dropped a touchdown.
Yeah, McCoy had a few catches.
McCoy the touchdown.
Yeah. I mean, McCoy looks like he can be a decent receiver. I mean, if he works at it, but he can't be out there slapping other guys around and getting penalties. He looks like he could play a little bit. Tommy did get upset. Norvell was talking to him a little bit. Tommy's a passionate player.
Well, Tommy can't
you want
throw.
That. And
this is why
Tommy
people like the Nullcats. This is why the people like the Nullcats are saying Gus is going to be gone. Like if somehow Norvell stays next year, Gus has to be gone because this offense is too good. Like it's better. It doesn't. Once again, you have a 10 points here. You have all these yardage, but you have only 10 points to show for it. And if you don't have a true elite mobile quarterback, Tommy is not an elite mobile quarterback or he can't do both things really well. And when he's banged up like he is today, you even lose some of that mobility. He cannot throw elite on the run. He has really one kind of good throw, which is that sideline throw. But when the pocket breaks down, it seems like none of our receivers get open too when he's scrambling. Nobody's open when he scrambles. So that's out of the window. And when you're playing from behind, this team can't win when you're playing from behind. This team cannot win when you're playing from behind because that forces the throw. And he does not have he doesn't even have an average arm, I wouldn't say.
No.
And that's just the player he is. We knew that when we invested in this, but this offense is not something that you can go forward with at Florida State. We need to get back to more of a typical spread offense with a real quarterback.
It's too inconsistent.
Because you do have receiving weapons. Deuce Robinson's not going to be here. He's going to go to the NFL next year.
Yeah,
or he's going to go to Ohio State. One or the other. Because he could easily have 1,000 yards plus with a real offense.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Right.
But there are still some, if Danzy decides to still play football or just do track, because there are rumors that he wants to pick a sport and not play both, you do still have some weapons in the receiving core that you could benefit a quarterback. But I feel like this offense cannot play from behind because look at the example of it was the last one of the drives in the fourth quarter when it was still attainable, but you got that penalty. You were backed up, second and 15, second and 18. They did the swing around to Squirrel White, the end around the Squirrel White, went 2 yards, and then you did another quick screen. Like these, you cannot, like you should have been, let's do something over. They never exploit the middle. I think they did one pass at Deuce Robinson over the middle the entire night. They were like daring you to shoot it over the middle. But they never pass over the middle. They never exploit the middle spot.
I know.
They never target the deep threat. They never went long they went long to Squirrel White one time and he missed them by 6 yards. And that's I think a reason too, like when they need to pass it long, they don't because they know Tommy can't hit it consistently. They set up these passes and they can't hit them when they need to. And then when he does, guy drops the ball. Fourth down to Pittman, he drops the fucking football wide open. Like, this is the story of the year. It's the story of the year, and it's painful. I mean, but this is the identity of the team, and this is why people are going to get fired, and this is why people are going to go other places, and this is why the roster needs a reset. The program needs a reset, and I think this, once again, like you said, this whole team is going to have a brand new identity next year, and it needs one. It needs a whole cultural reset. And I'm not saying the culture's bad. I'm not saying people are punching each other in the locker room and there's fights, even though a player just did get arrested for apparently assault. Ricky Knight got arrested apparently.
This week? When did that happen?
He got suspended from football for after arrest. Yeah, we're not going to go into that for burglary and with assault and battery, but I don't think he was really blamed. So, but once again, I don't think this culture is rotten. I just believe the culture we need to get back to a winning culture, and what is built right now, like you've said, the roster needs a reset, coaching needs a reset. We need better evaluators of talent, better evaluators of portal, everything, and we're heading that direction. You've lost to Clemson 9 out of 10 times. That's not acceptable. I mean, that's not acceptable. It's not, you don't want that to happen. And you saw, I watched it when it was happening. Dabo just looked like he won the national championship, because this is what that game meant to them. And it means a lot to me to beat Clemson. And that, for a 3-5 Clemson team, they treat that like their playoff game, essentially, is beating Florida State, because they know how much that means to their recruiting efforts. And they can say, these little things, these little battles mean something.
It
right?
also just shows how where we are. We're just, we're just treading water. We don't want to. We're up and down trying to grab a breath, and we're just treading water. We're up. And there's no way we're going to operate like this in 2026. I don't know where the hell they're going to get the money, but they're going to find it, because the fan base is not going to go through another year of this shit. It's not possible. It's not possible. There's going to be a lot of pain, controversy, chatter, speculation, any words you want to put on it, from this point all the way through to the kickoff in 2026. Is a long road ahead. And even in 2026, you're still going to go through pain. There's a lot of pain to come, okay? And people need to strap in. I'm telling you, I've lived through this shit before. In 1973, we were 0-11. They almost did away with the program. A lot of people don't know that. Most of the people who listen to us weren't even born then. All right? Including yourself. I watched the pain, okay? And it took even Bobby Bowden a few years to get the thing going. But he did bring in elite players, and they were well developed by guys like Mickey Andrews and other coaches and offensive coordinators, Mark Rick, who you see on the ACC channel now. And unfortunately, he's battling some health issues. But these were elite coaches with bringing in elite players with no NIL, guys who wanted to come to Florida State, play for these coaches, and get developed and go to the next level. The Derek Brookses of the world, Marvin Jones seniors of the world, okay? A lot of the linemen that I'm not even going to throw out all the names. This has a proud tradition, Florida State. We've got to do something to fix this shit before it's too late. All right? And this, we've got to do it.
Yeah.
This is unacceptable. It's unacceptable of what's going on here. And I've seen a lot of damn football and listened to a lot of football even when I was a kid. And this is rough. This is rough shit. All right? And it's frustrating for a lot of fans. And now, more than ever, KB, you as a fan are asked to do even more because of the money that's going into these programs and going into the players and going into the coaches. Even an average coach should be able to win 6 games at Florida State. 6 to 8 games. An average coach you bring in here, paying him, I don't know, $4 million. He should be able to win 6 freaking games at Florida State and go to a bowl game. This is unacceptable. Mike Norvell is not the future face of this football team and this program. And maybe the AD needs to go as well. I mean, it's getting out of control, and it's very frustrating for everybody. Very frustrating.
Well, yeah, it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks here. But yeah, definitely a game you could have won.
Yeah, they could have won this game.
Yeah.
If, as you said, if they would have executed the plays.
And sadly, it was your best players not executing. Tommy
That's
missing
right.
plays, fumbling,
Yeah.
and Pittman dropping
Pittman.
balls.
Yeah. And
'cause
then penalties.
yeah,
You know,
but your defense, I believe your defense. I thought the defense play. I think Gerlo made some plays. I thought Barker actually played one of his better games in terms of tackling. I thought Rawls played good until he got hurt. I thought one of the linebackers who came back from injury,
Pryor,
Stephon
Thompson,
and then the edge, what's his name? I thought the defense once again was flying. Yeah, McCray. I thought those guys were flying around. He had 3 tackles. I mean, the team had 6 sacks.
They only had 98 yards rushing the football.
That's what I'm saying.
We were controlling the line of scrimmage there.
Yeah, we had 6 sacks tonight. I mean, the defense.
Defense.
They were all on the field a long time and only gave up 24 points.
They were.
So considering that,
they were.
And like I said, Clemson has some good players. They offensively, Randall and Williams and more looked like he was going to be taking advantage of Wilson, and they got it under control. But I thought, like I said, they took advantage of some plays and had some good field position too when we went and turned it over on downs and had some turnovers. But I thought the defense overall played one of their better games.
They only scored. Clemson only scored, unless I got it wrong here, 6 points in the second half.
Yeah, exactly. You were set up to win this game. You're correct.
They won the second half 6-3.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We got 3 and they got 6. If my fingers are right here, I was writing down shit. You're exactly right.
Yep.
We played well enough on defense to win this game. The defense kind of bend, but they didn't break, and they were on the field a lot. If our offense could have done more with the football with more points, we would have won the game, or it would at least been closer than this.
You gave up 10 yards in the fourth quarter. I mean, your defense was screaming for anything on the offensive end, anything. And it just never came.
I don't get it. When we thought that statistically Clemson was having a shit year on defense, and this is all we can do.
They did. They gave up 360 yards, and you only have 10 points to show for that.
I don't get it. Yeah,
it's execution. And once again, it's execution.
Key plays. Key plays.
And I'm sure the timeline of X will be showing that over and over. But it was a weird night in the ACC overall. Wake Forest beat Virginia 16-9, and so that's a big blow for Virginia. Now they have one loss.
Loses in a non-conference game.
They lose in non-conference. California knocks off Louisville in overtime.
Unbelievable.
So 2 of the top ACC teams both have losses. So Miami is now cheering because they're back alive in the race for it. So it's and then North Carolina knocks off Stanford for that. And those are 2 bad teams.
I'm going to say this. I just don't think this conference is very good. That anybody in the bottom could beat the top. People would say, well, that's well balanced. No, I just think it's not very good conference. And
to be fair to Virginia, they lost their quarterback too tonight.
No, they did. That's a big blow.
That's unfortunate for them.
I just think come playoff time, you're going to see we'll get one, the champion, and
the results speak for themselves. I mean, that's what the playoffs are about. They get to showcase what they have. And
now, what I saw, I don't know if you saw. I watched the end of that Indiana game. Unbelievable game.
Yeah.
What a
that's
catch.
Players
you
make
talk
plays.
About execution. The guy catching that which I put out on our site. The guy catching that touchdown pass.
Yep.
That was execution at the highest degree. The quarterback taking them all the way down the field on the last drive. That's execution. That's high-level play. Very high-level play, and they pulled it out, and they're 9-0. And they deserve to be.
Big-time players.
Penn State played their ass off, got close, but not good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now they've lost 6 straight. So once again, it's not just us having issues this year. It's a lot. I mean, DJ Lagway got benched today for Florida.
He did?
Yep, he got benched today.
Did they lose to Kentucky?
I can see that.
You want me to pull it up?
I got it up here.
Holy shit.
See. I just saw that headline. Yeah, they lost 38-7.
38-7 to Kentucky.
That's why I got benched.
And they're talking about Kentucky's coach being on the hot seat.
Not anymore, probably.
Holy shit.
It's in the fourth quarter. It's still in the fourth quarter.
That game's over.
So yeah, Lagway got benched. You can see Lagway somewhere new. You can see him at Florida
Yeah,
State,
he's gonna
maybe.
leave.
You can see him.
No,
Depending on where. Yeah, you never know.
No,
You never know.
You know, I mean.
And then LSU's quarterback Nussmeier, he got benched too, apparently against Alabama. So
what's the score there? That's
20-9. 20-9. 2 minutes left. So that
20-9.
game's essentially, I would say,
20-9.
wrapped.
I was
Kentucky's final. Florida's final. Sorry, 38-7.
Yeah, Alabama's 3 minutes left. They're going to win. Ohio State had a big win, 34-10 over a nothing Purdue team. A&M won. Georgia rolled. So these are the guys you're going to see in the playoff. Oregon is having a tough game. No, they won 18-16. They've been struggling a little bit. Notre Dame beat Navy 49-10.
Yeah,
you covered the other ones.
Yeah, I covered the other ones. But yeah,
we are not in these categories of being able to compete with these type of teams. We're just not. I mean, we're going to play Virginia Tech next week. We'll talk about them this coming week. Yep. God, you got to beat them. And then you got to, if you can beat them, which I believe we should.
You're not going to be at Raleigh. You're not going to win at Raleigh.
Then you can get your 6th win against NC State.
You're not going to win at Raleigh. You're not going to win at Raleigh. No offense.
NC State or Florida, both on the road.
So at Raleigh is going to be almost impossible. So
do you think Florida State makes a move on Norvell now or not? You think it plays out?
I think it plays out.
I think it plays out because the statement was very definitive.
Yep.
He's not going to. He's not. He said it will be done at the end of the season. It
makes
him look like a fool. It makes the AD Alford look like a fool if he goes back on.
Unless someone writes a check tonight, unless someone's like, "Here's the money."
I'll give you the money if you fire him right away.
Yeah,
if he makes that's right. You got to fire him right away. We'll write the check tonight. That's how it would change.
Yeah.
Of course, you might not hear it that way, but
saw someone post that. Someone, if I send you this, just start praying.
15-0, under 8.
No, his face. No, his face. I mean, I've never seen the lack of emotion. It's crazy.
3rd down, right?
I mean, he looked like he was a zombie. He just looked like a zombie. I'm afraid to light up the phone lines tonight unless you.
No, let's just
we'll do that maybe next week.
Yeah, let's just call it night. But once again, tough night for everybody.
I would like to see if we could this week find that chart of passing in the middle. You know what I mean?
We will. We'll have it.
Everything's down the sidelines. There's nothing in the middle. It's like, you know how they say, well, this receiver doesn't like to go across the middle. Shit, we don't send anybody across the middle that I can see. Now, what I do like about Deuce Robinson is when Tommy is scrambling, you will see him come back for balls, right? Yeah. Or he'll cut off his break and come back to the quarterback. That shit is taught when you're 8 years old, right? Yeah. I don't get, as you say, why aren't guys more running free? It's like you can't get off these cornerbacks, and these aren't elite cornerbacks for Clemson. Yeah. Come on. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. And it has been said Gus's passing game is not mature. How the hell can this guy be in football as long as he is and not have an elite passing game of some sort? It's terrible.
It is. And this week, you guys are going to hear that, people are going to ask for Kevin Sperry based on Tommy's play. I guarantee it.
I don't think that's going to happen, though. No, I think Kevin Sperry is going to get a red shirt.
But if you're Mike Norvell, you're probably gone. So do you care? It's going to have to be a conversation for Kevin Sperry and Mike Norvell to say, in the age of NIL, do you care about your red shirt? I
think that's appropriate. I think that's appropriate.
If we're ready to move forward and we want
to
think you're the best shot in terms of your arms, your arm accuracy and your mobility and you being a more complete quarterback, we want to move forward with you. Are you okay not, using that eligibility to
Right,
put your
right.
tape out there and
Right.
either stay, because I may not be here, but you could be here, and
I think
also be
that's
able to
fair.
leverage that for other teams. So
I think that's fair. I think that's a fair thing for a coach. All these coaches say the same thing. I'm here for the players. I'm here for their development. Norvell has said that too. And that would be a fair question to have with Sperry if you care about him, with him and his family and his agent or whoever the hell it is.
Because right
I
now,
think that's fair.
I think we know what Tommy brings to the table. And like I said, I love
Yeah,
Tommy. He fights. I just think we've hit his ceiling, and I saw too many misplays tonight. And I think I'd rather go with maybe a more prototypical pass first with the ability to run and just see what the kid has. And see if he's a foundational piece, and just see if he's a foundational piece.
And I think it's a great idea, a great recommendation. And if they're going to do that, come to the press room and be freaking honest with it. Come to the press room and say, listen, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. All right. We've got 2 young quarterbacks. We've talked to Tommy, and Tommy's okay with it. He's a competitor. Of course, he wants to be on the field.
Yep.
But at this point, we want to get these guys in the game. We believe we can. We believe it's good to get them in the game. We believe we can win with them in the game. Tommy's going to be there. He's going to be mentoring them. And if he has to go into the game because someone gets hurt, he'll go into the game. He's agreed to it, and they've agreed to it.
Yep.
And everybody's on board. Win, lose, or draw, that's what we're going to go with.
Absolutely. I think that's what we should do.
The only thing that could prevent that is they want to get to this bowl game to win 6 games. They need, 2 more? They need 2, right? Yeah, they need 2 to get the extra practice, which is a big deal. It's a big deal. And the money and the kids, get their swag bags and can have a little vacation, which is a reward for a team.
But I'm not saying you put in Kevin Sperry because just to develop him. I do think he may give, if you only do that if you think he does give you a chance or better chance to win.
Yeah. I like your idea. I think it's a great idea, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think so either. I don't think so
happen.
either. But like I said, if you think that his ability to pass the ball down the field or pump it down the field can open up this offense, I think I hope they do consider it. I just think Tommy's limited pass ability is hurting this football team right now. You have deep weapons, and he has to be able to hit that.
But if you're running a program, who gives you the best opportunity to win the next game against Virginia Tech? You got to go with Tommy. That's the answer, unless he's hurt. Okay? You have to, if you're trying to win football games, if you're trying to win any type of contest, you're generally going to go with the guys that you've paid and give you the best chance to win. That and that's pretty much what they're going to do. Now,
and what she says is true. Tommy's not going to want to come off the field, and
he's not going to want to come off the field.
So that's where Mike Norvell is going to have that conversation. How do you, I don't know how you have that conversation and you say, hey, your career's over, because this is Tommy's done unless he gets that magical red shirt or eligibility extra year, but his career would be over if you took him out essentially too. So I don't know how you navigate all that, and Mike Norvell's career could be over with Florida State. So it's a lot of
Mike Norvell's career is over with Florida State.
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of intangibles of how he plays.
I'm not saying after this game. I'm saying he is not going to be here in 2026 to coach his football team. If he is, then somebody needs to come to the mic and explain it and say, this is why he's here, because we don't have enough money to pay the guy off. I mean, God, people want honesty. People want some honesty instead of the bullshit that is being passed out, and our press guys don't ask questions because they're afraid. You've played clips. You send clips to me of how coaches get upset. Well, when coaches are on the ropes, that's when you ask the tough questions.
Yeah.
They if they don't like it, they won't ask you anymore. That's fine. Well, I can't write my bullshit. You can sit there and still get information from the other shitty questions that are being asked. This is the time when you ask professional but hard-hitting questions of what the hell's going on. Nobody's asked anything about Sperry. Nobody. Who do you see is nobody's asked this shit. If they're not going to ask it now, you think they're going to ask it over the next course of the next year? They're not going to do it. It's sad. It's sad that these outlets that want to charge you for inside information and threads and community stuff and Supreme Commander special threads, and people buying this shit, they don't even have any sources. They break those stories.
Yep.
And if you want to pay money to look at who the next high school recruit's going to be, shit, you can get that shit for free.
Yeah.
But the point is, there needs to be some level of transparency of somebody at the mic, right?
Yeah, I agree.
But I think your recommendation now, and I know you hate to hear this, but I'm going to say this. That is what Colorado's out of it. Obviously, they lost again today to West Virginia. They started their freshman quarterback. He's a 5-star, and the guy played pretty well. Okay, they lost, but he played pretty well at a hostile crowd in West Virginia.
3-6 West Virginia team. Yeah.
He's going to play the rest of the way. They said so. They've made this commitment.
Yeah, they're going to burn his eligibility. Burn his redshirt.
They're going to go with the guy.
Yeah.
Now, if you're going to do that, don't play Sperry just one game.
But the difference is that Dion knows he's not getting fired. Mike Norvell, there's a difference in like who's going to be back as coach. I think Dion knows I'm going to be back regardless, or I could take this kid with me. I want to see what I got here, right?
You're saying Norvell might be more selfish to try to win games with Tommy.
Yes, correct.
Okay. And I think that's what's going to happen.
Correct.
I would be shocked if they came to the podium and said, no, Sperry's the starter the rest of the way, or,
I think what's best for the program would be going with the younger guy if he knew he was coming back. But like you said, I think it's more go with the known commodity.
Right.
What gives us the best chance for 6? Potentially the best chance for 6. But like I said, I saw too many mistakes tonight that are on the quarterback based on his arm, based on decision making. And I'm not saying Kevin Sperry is the next Heisman winner or the savior of this, because everyone loves the backup quarterback. That's all. Yeah, everyone loves the backup. But we've seen Kevin Sperry come in, and for a freshman, he did make some smart play. He didn't look like Brock Glenn when I first saw him. Let's just say that. I would love to see why they brought this kid in more behind the starting line with the starting receivers. And I've seen his live arm in some of these games, and F it. We're what do we got to lose at this point? But I know Mike Norvell's not thinking that. He's not saying what do we have to lose at this point. That's not his mentality.
Well,
and I understand that. And I understand
it's what's best. It should be what's best for the program. And Mike Norvell's not the only one that's going to weigh in on such a decision. It's what is best for Florida State football.
Yeah.
What is best for this program at this point?
Is that where the AD has to come in then and say, "Hey, Mike"?
You have a GM and you have Mike and you have the AD. At least those 3 characters are in there talking.
And they should come in and say, "We think Kevin Sperry should be starting next week." I don't know demographics.
Kevin Sperry could start next week. He's got one more game. This would be his 4th game, right? If I counted this shit, right?
Yeah, it should
They could put him into this game, let him play this game, and then Tommy could come back. Tommy could take a break, and then come back and play NC State and Florida.
Yeah,
right.
Or if Kevin Sperry lights it up, keep going.
That's right. So you could do that, but yeah, these gentlemen are going to sit down over coffee and review. But the bottom line has to be not as what's best for any of these as individuals. What is best for the football program? And then be transparent with people. If you're transparent with people and not giving away any game secrets, right? All right. You could cover that a little bit, just saying behind the scenes, we're going to go with Sperry. We're not going to put that out, but we're going to go with Sperry. All right. But let people kind of know after the fact why we did what we did and what our reasoning is. Do you owe that to the public? No, but you have a big fan base that wants to know what the shit is going on because you're asking them for a lot of money. You're asking people who are sitting in, picking up from the food banks, maybe, shouldn't be at some of these games.
Yeah.
It's funny when I see that type of shit going on. There aren't millionaires sitting there in the stands all the time, you know? So at least some transparency. The problem with Mike, and I want to say this with Mike Norvell, because you and I say, well, why is he having trouble getting talent? Or everybody's asking that. I think his communication style is not good. Because if he communicates the same way he does to parents and kids, like he does at the presser where he knows everybody, he knows he's not going to say a lot. It's almost you can't listen to it. It's
I
that
think
bad.
I think he tries to be authentic, but it comes off as inauthentic.
Yeah, I think he doesn't come across as sincere. I think you're exactly right.
But because he's trying so hard. I don't think
he would be a good sales guy.
No, he's terrible because he over-explains. He over-explains.
Oh my God, the answers go on.
But the bad thing is that I think he is a good person. I think he
I think
believes
he's a
everything
good
he says.
person. Yeah.
But that's the thing. I don't think all coaches are good people. We've seen a lot of coaches who are pieces of shit and like very bad people. I think he's actually a good person, but a terrible salesperson.
He's
a terrible
salesperson. A terrible salesperson.
And you need to be a good salesperson. You need to be a good salesperson as a coach. You got to be able to sell recruits and get them in the door.
Many years ago, I worked for a high-level guy. Okay, trust me on this. Very high-level guy in the government of this country. When he would go to give a speech, and I was there a lot, it was horrible. I felt bad for the guy. He was a horrible speaker. I mean, communication, and you work in the business world, communication is a big deal when you're interacting with people, and coaches are basically selling to kids now. You know, it's not only money, but it's not only facilities, but it's that communication together. I do think Mike Norvell is a good human being. I just don't think he's a good communicator or a good football coach at this point, at this level.
There you go. All right, let's leave it at that then. Next show, obviously next week, there'll be Sunday's only going to get more chatter about the future, what's going on, what's next, Same thing with what's going on with Florida. I'm sure the temperature there is going to only get worse with the beatdown with Kentucky, DJ Lagway getting benched. Hopefully, what's going on there and with Florida State. And obviously, we'll have our pregame show or preview show with Virginia Tech next week. So be sure to like, subscribe, follow, so you can be around for that. Please. And we'll have a spirited discussion with that. But we'll see what happens next week with roster. Like I said, it wasn't all bad tonight. I thought the defensive line played pretty okay. Linebackers okay, a few spots there. It wasn't all bad. It was just lack of execution, especially on the offense. We got to figure out a way to get guys to make the right plays. But at this point, at this point, we should have won this game. At least it should have been, been much more competitive than this. But at the end of the day, this is the team. It's not going to change in the last 4 games here. This is the pattern of the team. They don't play complementary football. They make mistakes at the wrong time. They can't execute in the critical downs. And this is just who they are. This is the identity of the team, and that's why things need to change. And that comes with the head man.
Well, the head man, that's right. The head man of anything gets the responsibility whether he wants it or not.
Yeah.
And they always say that. It's on me. I need to coach them up better. They always say that. That's the word salad, coaching 101. You hear them all say that because I'm looking across the medium at a lot of different coaches and pressers, and they're going, yeah, it's on me. I need to coach them up better. Well, okay, it's on you. Well, then you're going to be held responsible for this, okay? Yeah. But they never say, well, if he would have caught this ball or done this. But those little plays, especially in critical games against big-time opponents,
this game came down to a couple of plays easily, and they'll be highlighted all week. And we'll
everybody should go and look at the clip I put up on the Indiana game. The guy's catch was unbelievable. If he doesn't make that catch, I don't know. Maybe they don't win the game. You know,
Our game didn't come down.
incredible.
Our game came down to a couple of open catches, a
It
couple
did.
of easy
Yeah.
option Pittman and an option play going the right. It didn't have to be that hard tonight for Florida State. But once again, the easy
made
stuff
it
for
hard.
Florida State this year
we made it
has
hard.
looked hard.
Yeah.
And that's why we need a roster reset. We need a coaching reset.
It's gonna be
a program
it's
reset.
gonna be a tough night to fly home for the team, and we need to start breaking some more rocks. You know, we're stockpiling them. I don't know what the hell they do with them.
Yeah.
I guess
My
they
goal.
keep 'em.
My goal for next week would hopefully we see Sperry, we see hopefully the future, and we'll see. We'll discuss that next week. So let us know, guys. We'll see you guys next week. Like, subscribe, follow, and let us know in the comments if you're watching this after the live show what you guys think, if you disagree or agree. And guys, have a great rest of your weekend. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you soon. And as always, go Noles. Go Noles. Take care, y'all.
Seminole sideline 360.